Hi, welcome to this short video that shows how to remove the question marks from the inputs and outputs of function blocks in an LD diagram program in TwinCAT, where removing these question marks makes using the LD programming language much easier. So before we get into it, I just want to point out that we have put together a manual, or a getting started guide, let's say, that follows along with all of the videos in the TwinCAT series. So if you don't want to take notes whilst you're watching this video, or simply you just prefer to learn from a document, this book is free to download from anybody and it's linked in the description. So if we have a look, we can see how-to guides and then how to remove the question marks from LD diagram POU inputs and outputs, which will actually follow along with this video. So let's get into the demonstration. So I'll illustrate the problem first. So in my main task here, I've got a motion interface from the Control Techniques NC Axis library. As you can see, it's defined here. But what we want to do, just whilst you're getting going, it's actually quite nice to use the LD language. You might not necessarily want to automate your system with it, but it's certainly very nice to use when you want to just get used to the interface in the first place. And what I've done is I've created an action beneath my main program to give me a place where I can program in LD language. So let's open up that space, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop in a block, ENO, this is the type that you would use with our interfaces, and then I'm going to go and select from the list our position interface. And press enter on that, and what you can see is that the default position whenever you have a new installation of TwinCAT, it will always put these question marks at the inputs and outputs. And the annoying thing about these is that essentially you either have to overwrite them with what you would actually like to connect to all of these inputs and outputs, or you have to go and delete them, and it's time consuming. So let's show you how to not do that. So I'm just going to go and delete this interface now, and then we'll go and make the change. So it's Tools, Options, TwinCAT, PLC Environment, FBD, LD and IL editor, and then just want to check this box. Okay, that will get rid of almost all of the question marks so you can just begin to use it. So I'm going to click OK to that. I'll do the same thing again, insert the box, pick from the list. Here's our interface. I'll press enter, and there we go. You can see that what we're left with is just one set of question marks at the end, which is not too bad to delete. So what I'll do is I'll show you now why it's a benefit just to use the LD language as an aside. So I'm just going to set this up. So my axis name is axis 1. There we go. So this is ready to go. So I'm going to push this into our target. Just wait for that to download, and I'll start the code. And there we go. So what you can see is that in the LD view, unlike structured text, all of the inputs and outputs are all listed side by side, so you've actually got most of the controls on the screen at the same time. And there's further benefits. So for example, if you've got an enumerated type, I can double click on here and I can just select from the list. So it's quite convenient just when you're getting going, just when you're learning this interface, to be able to sort of, if I want to turn the drive on, I can do that like really easily. I can hear that my drive is enabled. I can get the thing to run very easily. There we go. So now my motor's kind of running using the default speeds for that particular reference. So you can see by removing the question marks, it makes LD language really convenient to use to just test and try and be able to get used to the interface. Hope you found this useful. Thanks for watching.